Welcome back to Lost in Games Unscripted, the regular series on the channel where I talk about mostly gaming related stuff and whatever happens to be on my mind at a given time. I've talked a lot lately about scripting and talking about how to rewrite scripts in games and stuff like that. And I wanted to kind of branch this series out and talk a little bit more about other topics. So we will eventually be talking also about how to rewrite certain things or what I would do to rewrite certain things and characters and that kind of thing. We'll continue talking about those things. But for now, I want to branch out into other things. Particularly in this video, I want to talk about toxic gaming communities, which is already opening a can of worms. But I promise it won't be too overly serious because I like to have some fun with things, right? Life is too short to be overly serious about everything. In particular, the reason why this came up and what got me thinking about it and wanting to talk about it really kind of goes back a few years overall. I used to be part of a gaming a community in the Elder Scrolls Online gaming or game. It was a community that was focused around doing raids together, or playing dungeons, or just kind of hanging out and chilling and playing through some of the story stuff. It was fun for a short time. I made some friends along the way, but at the end of the day, online gaming just isn't my thing, and so I didn't really stick with it, and I kind of dropped out. I put like 2,000 hours into the Elder Scrolls Online, so I did spend quite a bit of time doing it. But there were some elements of that community that wound up kind of killing it for me. And some of that came down to the constant debate that was going on about how much you should have to play to be considered playing the game, to be considered like good enough to play some of the more end game type of content. And part of the reason why that was such a big deal was because there were achievements, but there were also like story elements in some of the harder, more difficult content. And to me, I've always loved the stories in games, right? The biggest reason why the Elder Scrolls Online is a game that drew me in was because I loved Skyrim. I like the Elder Scrolls in general, and I thought it was kind of cool to be able to explore more of Tamriel and get to see some stories and go through the different zones and have some fun from that aspect. But something that always frustrated me, because while I was decent at the game, I wasn't like great at it. I wasn't playing some of the higher end content. I wasn't getting some of the higher DPS and that kind of stuff. But I still wanted to experience the stories that were part of the bigger content. The raids were like 12-man groups. So you'd have 12 people all go in together. You could not complete them without 12 people. But going in with those 12 people, most of those 12 people are just there to get pieces of gear they're trying to get or get achievements. They aren't there to go through the story. They don't give two shits about it, and they'll just kind of fast forward through it. You don't get the time to sit down and really go through the story. Mostly because while you're listening to people talk, everybody else in the group has moved on to the next boss fight, and you all of a sudden get pulled into that boss fight. So I was watching a video on YouTube one day about talking about the Elder Scrolls Online, and I made a suggestion in the comments because they were asking for, like, what do you think that should be done, or how do you think, what improvements would you like to see moving forward in ESO? And so, like any normal person, I thought, oh, I'll throw my 2 cents out there. And I said in the comments, I think it would be really cool if they added in a mode where, you would disable achievements and stuff, but you could still go through some of these 12-man trials solo, or even the bigger dungeons solo, without having to worry about like being overly skilled to be able to actually fight the bosses and stuff, so that you could go through the story. No achievements. You don't get any of the gear or anything like that. It's just so you can go through for the story. And I had a couple of people respond to me on that comment, basically berating me for coming up with such a stupid idea, how people just need to get better. It's not their fault that you suck at the game. And I'm like, what I'm suggesting would literally take away nothing from you. You would lose nothing at all. It would simply be an addition to allow people to be able to walk into a trial or a dungeon by themselves, go through the story, have a little bit of a little bit of a challenge to kind of play, but not too difficult to get through and experience the story that was presented there, because there's lore that's added that kind of ties into other parts of different zones. And that's all I was suggesting. And they had they had to reply to my comment and tell me just how stupid and bad it was. And that was kind of the last straw for me, because I had already been through like arguing with people about how you should not have to be the greatest player in the world. You should be able to experience the game and enjoy it and have fun with it. Part of the fun of online games is community, but also it should just be having fun with the game. And if your version of fun is almost impossible odds, if you want to play like a game that you have to be like super skilled at, you have to put thousands of hours into one particular thing just to get past one boss or something, go for it. That option should be there for you. But there's no reason why you can't kind of skill it for different people and have and allow it to be fun. Play it your own way, right? That killed me for the ESO online community. The other big game that I played online recently, in the past few years, was Red Dead, because I love Red Dead Redemption 2. It's one of my favorite games of the past decade. And so I tried the online version when it first came out. I played it for a couple of months straight, going in, doing my daily quests and that kind of stuff. For the most part, it was relaxing. It wasn't anything too crazy. I had some fun with it. But then some of the roles came out, particularly the trapper role, or not the trapper role, the hunter, gatherer, whatever the hell it was. You had to kill animals and bring them back for the guy. I don't remember all the details, but basically you would get all these animal pelts together, and then you would have to take them to a location, and you would get a reward based on where you took them to. The problem is it's an online game. So you have people like that will come after you, right? The concept of, oh, okay, well, I'm going to have to fight off like outlaws as they're coming after me, right? In theory, it sounds kind of fun. It sounds kind of interesting. In practice, you wind up with a bunch of people who are spending the majority of their life or their savings to upgrade their characters, and then they're coming at you and attacking you, making it pretty easy, especially if you don't have a posse. If you want to play by yourself and you just like the online element or some of the features online, they come at you, nothing you can do. Even if you manage to take all of them out, they respawn relatively close, and all they have to do is come after you again. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with online games at that point. I can't stand, I don't like PvP. I am not a PvP. I don't want to play somebody who dedicates their life to becoming good at a game. I want to play cooperatively. I want to have fun. I love the story. So online gaming for me was dead after that. But even in offline gaming, as I found out in the past year or so on this channel, can be rather frustrating, because there are certain communities of people that are very into their games and don't like it when people don't talk nice about their games, or when anything disparaging at all is said about their favorite game. And it gets me thinking every time I see comments about a particular game, or people getting upset that I ignored the lore, which I do. The Philosophy and Ethics series is about ignoring the lore. It's using games as thought experiments, right? There is nothing about the lore in Philosophy and Ethics that is important to the discussion that we are having. There is nothing about the games themselves that is important really to the discussion we are having. Recently started working on the Batman games from Telltale in the Philosophy and Ethics game series. And I've had multiple people tell me about how, well, Bruce Wayne isn't as bad as you say he is because he gives to charity and he does all these things. I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's not what I'm talking about, though. Bring it back to the real world. And I've had people that got mad at me, particularly like I had a few people that got really upset when I covered Life is Strange, because I didn't think the writing was good overall in the game. And especially the last episode, I thought there was some just really bad implications when it comes to the choices that you had to make at the end of the game. And there were some people that were really legitimately just pissed off at me because how dare I say something against their game? And for the most part, I delete those comments. if they seem trollish. If it's somebody that like is genuinely trying to have a conversation or something, that's one thing. But a lot of these people are just like straight up attacking. How dare you? Why would you say this? This is bullshit. They'll say things. They'll insinuate that I said things in the video that I didn't even say. Like those kind of things. They're just gone. I'm going to get rid of your comment is not going to exist in my comment section at that point. But it's like, why do people have to get so enamored with these things? And I think some of it has to do with just in general, people tend to attach themselves to specific things. And what I mean by that is it doesn't matter. Maybe it's politics, maybe it's religion, maybe it's a game. People will like make their identities about these particular things. And then when somebody comes along and challenges those things, whether they are legitimate, good challenges or not, somebody comes along and challenges those things, and then people take it personally. And I think it's important that we step back and we realize we can have favorite things, we can love things, but we need to not take it personally when other people don't. I'll use a sports metaphor, which some of my audience may appreciate, some may not, but I grew up as an Ohio State Buckeyes fan. Love the Buckeyes through and through, Buckeye football specifically, but even basketball's okay. So all throughout my life, I was a big Buckeyes fan. And when I was younger, whenever somebody would say something against the Buckeyes, I would get personally offended. I would be like, what the hell do you mean? The Buckeyes are great. How could you say that? As I grew older and I started to become more mature, I started to realize that's silly. Everybody's got their favorite team. Everybody's got their thing. And it just doesn't make sense to take offense when somebody talks about. So nowadays, when people talk shit about the Buckeyes, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Doesn't bother me any. I stopped making that a part of my identity. Still love college football. Still love the Buckeyes. But it's not a part of my identity and who I am. You know, who I am at my core is I think of like I'm a philosopher. I enjoy talking about morals and ethics and that kind of stuff. I enjoy talking about games and movies and TV shows. Those are things that I enjoy doing. But I'm not going to get offended by anybody saying that they don't like a particular thing that I like. You know, I've talked in previous videos about how I like to play, like American Truck Simulator, for instance, is a game that I don't think most of my audience has ever even heard of. But it's a game where you just drive a truck around the United States. You're a semi-truck driver. And a lot of people will be like, well, that's boring. That's stupid. Why would you enjoy that game? I happen to really love it. But I'm not going to get offended when somebody says, well, that's a stupid game, or that's a waste of time to sit around and play that game. Hey, everybody's got their own opinion. I don't care, right? And so I guess that brings me back around to the toxic communities idea and element. And I think it's important that each and every one of us takes a moment from time to time to ask ourselves, are we making the world a better place through our interactions? Are we making the world, are we bringing positivity? Or are we maybe taking things a bit too far with the things that we love? You know, should we be enjoying the content, the games that we like, and let bygones be bygones? Or are we maybe taking it just a bit too far when somebody talks shit about the thing that we really enjoy? It's part of why I think in the past 20 years, especially as the internet's grown, we've seen negativity sells online. And some people have taken advantage of that negativity. Some people they'll find a popular game or a movie or a TV show or whatever, and they'll go in and they'll make a video talking about how shitty that thing is because they know they're going to get the rage bait. They know they're going to get people clicking and they're going to say, how dare you talk about my game or my movie or my TV show? Like, they're going to get that. And I've had that. I've seen the spectrum. I've seen, on the one hand, I'll talk about how bad I think the writing is in a particular thing, and I'll have people that are like, you know, I still really like it, but I kind of see where you're coming from. You know, and that is a healthy, well-reasoned person coming at a situation and being like, yeah, okay, I can understand that, but I still love it. And then there's the people that are like, you're a horrible person. You're the worst person ever because I love this game, and how dare you hate it? Like, chill out, guys. It's not that serious. It's something where we need to have some fun. We need to enjoy it, and we need to learn to make fun of the stuff that we enjoy too, really, because that's a big part of life in general, is learning how to laugh at yourself and learning how to laugh at the things that most people don't want to laugh at. You know, I have found that making fun of some of the things that I enjoy the most actually is a lot of fun to do. And, you know, I can make fun of American Truck Simulator all day long and talk about, yes, I'm a pretend truck driver in a fake world. I love it because I can drive around and I can turn off traffic and I don't have to worry about cars. But like, it's just one of those things. It bugs me to see people get so serious and angry in the comment sections of videos. To see people get so toxic when it comes to online communities. We've got to take a step back. It's 2026. We need to realize we're all one world. We are all the world in general. We're all human beings. We all have our own thoughts, our own opinions, our own places in life where we are. And there are things that are worth getting mad about. There are things that are worth getting up in arms about. Games aren't one of those. Movies, TV shows aren't one of those things that we should be getting all up in arms about. It's something where we need to learn how to live and let live, and we need to kind of have a little bit of fun with, as opposed to getting angry and hateful with each other. I've watched videos from other creators talking about games that just get horrific feedback in their comment sections. People who are just horrible things are being said at times, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why? There's no reason for that. You know, we need to just chill out and relax a little bit. So that's really what I wanted to get at with this video, was talking about that. I've got a list of topics up here that I'm trying to cover over the next few weeks, including things, more general gaming stuff. I want to talk a little bit about The Last of Us, because I just finished that a few weeks ago, and so I want to talk about that. I've got some other things I want to talk about in regards to things like The Walking Dead, maybe some Grand Theft Auto stuff. I'm still developing the list. So if there's topics that you want to hear, things that you think it would be fun to discuss, that's what these are supposed to be. These unscripted videos are kind of meant to be a discussion where I'm sitting here and it seems one-sided, and to an extent it kind of is, but it's just me laying out my side of the discussion, and then you can comment below and leave your side of the discussion or talk about things you want to talk about. I have taken people's comments and made whole videos out of them, because that's what this is for. So leave your comments down below. If you want to help the channel out, subscribe. Subscribing is always great. Or join the Patreon, channel memberships, that kind of thing. All of that goes a long way towards helping the channel and helping me grow and do more and more stuff here. I've got some big plans for this series moving forward. Some formats that I want to bring back that I did a few years ago in other ways. So keep an eye out for all of that. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for watching. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.